number, and I'll be sure to use it.
Okay, we're going to interrupt Governor Christie right there. We're going to Mayor Bloomberg for an update on what's going on in New York City.
Management, and I want to bring you up to date on the storm's progress. First of all, thank you, Lydia. And as everybody knows, we're already seeing significant impacts from the storm, and the worst of it is about to hit. I think we have done all we can to prepare. This afternoon, I spoke with President Obama, Treasury Secretary Geithner, and Governor Cuomo, all whom offered their support and coordination with the federal and state government, I will say, has been great. Now, as the storm intensifies, the most important thing I can say is, if you're in your home or somewhere safe,
dry-ass Bloomberg,
stay there.
This fucking guy looks like a haggard-ass Paul McCartney, and then you got this fucking sign-in bitch. Oh, it's great. Oh, good fun. Look at this guy. What's he got to prove? That's like his fucking Secret Service agent or something.
Call volume of 911 calls to the FDNY.
LOL, Jacob. Whoa. Is that crisis too? No, it's real.
Flooding conditions. That's not what 911 is for. That's 311. But if you use 911, it means the operator on the line's not free for somebody who has a real emergency to call. So please use 311 for downed trees or flooding. There have been more than 1,000 reports of tree damage in parks and on streets, and we're responding.
This looks like she's doing some kind of like tantric dance.
For downed trees, half of them are for other damage. Earlier today, a jogger was struck by a falling limb near Prospect Park and was hospitalized. Fortunately, she is going to be okay, and she was not in a closed park, but she was running near it.
Come on, make it big again.
Trees, whether they're trees in the street or trees in a park. It is very dangerous with the wind, and a lot of these trees still have leaves on them. When the leaves are on the trees, they catch a lot of water. It makes them a lot heavier, and they're much more likely to break off and also to be susceptible to the wind. Can't emphasize enough, stay indoors and certainly away from the parks, the beaches, the boardwalks, piers, and seawalls. We actually had to give a couple of people summonses for trying to surf today. It is dangerous, and the most important thing is that we're going to have to come in after you, and for us to lose an emergency responder because of someone's irresponsibility would be just an outrage.
Shut the fuck up.
Once again, if you're really in trouble, call 911. If not, 311. But 911 is only for true emergencies. Now, we've already seen flooding in some of the city's low-lying areas. We've also seen some power loss. More than 47,000 customers have lost power so far in the city. The vast majority of that, as you would expect, is in Queens and Staten Island.
Looks like he's flashing gang signs. Damn.
With overhead power
That's funny as hell.
Con Ed may be shutting down power in parts of Lower Manhattan and southern Brooklyn, and Con Ed has been doing outreach to its customers. You may have received a phone call about this. Kevin Burke's going to update us in a couple of minutes. This is a preventive measure to protect their equipment from serious damage. It's a similar kind of thing to what the MTA did very intelligently of moving their equipment out of harm's way. It may mean we don't have the service of that equipment for a longer period of time, but it also means that when the storm is over, we can recover quickly. And if equipment is damaged, whether it's transportation equipment or power equipment, it can take days, weeks, even months to repair. We don't want that. And this time, I think we have taken all the appropriate steps. As far as transportation, we've seen closures of roadways along the water, and we can expect more. The FDR is either open or closed, depending on whether that part is flooded. You should assume that roads that go along the water are going to have big problems.
All roads go along the water in fucking New York.
Higher ground, more inland. In addition to the bridge and tunnel closures that have already been announced, the East River bridges, the Brooklyn, Manhattan, Williamsburg, and Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge will close at 7 p.m. tonight. After 7 p.m., only emergency vehicles will be permitted on those bridges. And the city has something like 1,400 bridges, but most of the others are low bridges and don't really figure in terms of having any extra exposure to the wind. As you may know, there is a partially collapsed crane atop a building on West 57th Street. In order to keep residents safe, all buildings on the north and south sides of 57th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues, and all exposed buildings on 56th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues have been evacuated. One was a large hotel. but the hotel industry has found spaces for them, for the people there. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but better safe than sorry. Steam has been shut down in the vicinity of the crane, and water and gas shutdowns are underway as a preventive measure to mitigate damage if the boom from the crane were to collapse and fall into the street. OEM and the police department are assisting in providing transportation to shelter for anyone who needs it. Earlier today, Bob Steele and I spoke to Gary Barnett, president of the Extel Development Company, who is developing the project on 57th Street, and he and his staff are cooperating fully.
Oh man, I gotta fucking show this to Nick, dude. He'll laugh at this bitch.
Of the storm worsens. The most severe part of the storm is now beginning. As I said earlier today, Sandy is expected to make landfall just south of Atlantic City. That's in line with what's been predicted all along, although it is happening at a little faster pace than had been predicted. The storm is moving at roughly 30 miles an hour now rather than the 15 that it was doing before. But the city is still very much within the danger zone.
Holy shit. Yeah, motherfucker! Hell yeah! We're getting there. Man. Alright then.